Well, it's safe to say that Liam Hemsworth has one of the most difficult jobs in Hollywood, replacing Herny Cavill as Geralt of Rivia in The Witcher. In the last few days there has been leaks, but now we have our first official look of Liam Hemsworth as Geralt of Rivia in The Witcher Season 4. This has to be one of the toughest recasting in recent memory, replacing Herny Cavill with how popular he was as Geralt. And add on top of that, how disappointing the show was and how a lot of fans have jumped ship because of how they've treated the source material. Yeah, Liam had no chance. And if you guys follow me on Twitter, you've seen my initial reaction. And if I'm being honest, he actually looks pretty decent as Geralt. But at this stage, we've all given up. He has the impossible job of replacing Herny Cavill, who left the show for his own reasons, whether that's because he wasn't happy with the direction of the show, but he is an extremely popular actor, and his fans, and the fans of The Witcher, aren't happy. We've heard reports that they tried to reduce the character of Geralt's screen time and impact on the story, and there's even been reports the writers hated the source material and wanted to alter it. It feels like a sinking ship at this point. In fact, the ship has already sunk. And that's coming from someone who is a massive fan of the books and the games. I've played The Witcher 3 on the PS3, the PS4 and the PS5. And I was a fan of this show, especially in Season 1, and even parts of 2, even parts of 3, but not too many. As the show went on, the less and less favourable I was towards it. But I still gave it a shot. But at this point, no, I'm done. I never actually finished the second part of Season 3, because remember they released it in 2 parts. Was it 5 and 3? I think I got to episode 6 out of 8 and I just gave up. I think that was the Ciri Desert episode. It was either 6 or 7, I can't really remember. Guys, the show was boring. And don't get me started on the Brotherhood scenes and the social media campaign to make Jaskier some sort of icon. Yes, The Witcher still has its audience, especially on Twitter, but for me, and I know many of you guys feel the same, we're done. But I honestly think Liam Hemsworth will do a fine job. Not overly fond of him as an actor. He's totally overshadowed by his older brother, Chris Hemsworth, who is supposedly very, very good in the new Mad Max movie, which I will be seeing this weekend. But going back to Liam, he definitely looks the part of Geralt. And I think a lot of us were expecting a lot worse. And I'm sure he'll perform fine, but it's too late. We did see his first meeting of the cast when they done the round table, and it was announced they're going to do season 4 and 5, and that's it. And there was reports, maybe a year, 2 years ago, that they were going to do season 4 and 5 together and then wrap it up. And that seems to be the case. That's 2 seasons short of what they talked about initially. Around about season 1, when the showrunner and Herny Cavill said, I think 7 is the right amount, and Henry was eager to finish the story. The Witcher's damaged goods at this point, and it's such a shame. The Witcher had massive potential coming off The Witcher 3, and it was the first major fantasy show post Game of Thrones, which ended in May 2019. Witcher dropped in December 2019. It was the first out the gate, and it had an extremely popular lead actor, whose casting at first was received with a mixed reaction, but once we saw him in trailers, I think we were mostly comfortable, and we knew that he would do a good job. Then season 1 dropped, and he was fantastic. It was all going strong for The Witcher. Season 1 was solid, and I still enjoy it. Unlike many other shows that have attempted to replicate the Game of Thrones zeitgeist. It was popular, both on Netflix and online. It was a social media hit, with all the Geralt memes about the F-bombs and his reactions, his very dry sense of humour. And don't forget, the earworm, the catchy tune, a toss a coin to your Witcher. That was everywhere, and it's still a banger of a tune. And even though season 1 has its deviations, it followed the book pretty decently. It allowed changes for the medium of TV, but at the same time it felt like The Witcher, or at least the American Hollywood version. And Yennefer's backstory was one of the best parts of season 1, parts that were just touched upon in the later books, and that helped develop her character extremely well. And the introduction of Ciri early on kind of felt that was a mixed bag, but I suppose it helped in the long term, as it gave Freya Allan a chance to become more experienced as the character and as an actress. And in season 2, she was the best part early on, before they ruined her character. But I do hear Freya Allan is pretty good in the new Planet of the Apes movie, which I will see at some point. But yeah, season 1's main issue was just the jump in timelines. It was jarring, confusing, even to a solid Witcher fan like me, but it wasn't a deal breaker. And then going into season 2, we were promised a more linear story, and they delivered on that. However, at this point, they shut the books and tried to tell their own story. And at first, I initially thought season 2 was decent, but in hindsight, on my second rewatch, it killed the momentum. They butchered the characters of Ciri and Yennefer when they had possessed Ciri murdering the Witchers and Yennefer trying to sacrifice her surrogate daughter to get her magic back. I get what they're trying to do because at this point Yennefer's not a main character. She never was, she's a major side character in Geralt's story, but they tried to push her as the female lead. Initially it worked in season 1 when they enhanced her backstory, but once they ran out of source material for Yennefer, because at this point she's mostly off screen, that's when the cracks started to show. And this killed the mother-daughter type relationship. Even though they tried to fix it in season 3, and there were parts I enjoyed in season 3 with the Witcher family, especially as episode 1 when they're all on the run, when you get some quiet family moments with the trio, but at that point it was far too late, and the deviations were just far too much. The episodes themselves, there was a couple decent ones, but mostly boring, especially the Brotherhood ones. The casting was so questionable, and the script was a mess. It just didn't feel like The Witcher anymore, it's lost its Slavic roots, and it just felt like generic Hollywood fantasy number 4. The Witcher, like many of the other TV shows that have come out after Game of Thrones, just feel the same in terms of tone, costumes, set designs, and they're just so modern American in terms of their humour and desperation for Twitter relevancy. And it's such a shame because the Witcher books, even though they're not perfectly written and not perfectly translated into English, they are a lovely story. And the games, especially The Witcher 3, top quality game, and it's had its 9-year anniversary and it still holds up today. And if you haven't played it yet, you've got the PS5, got the new Xbox, get The Witcher. But in terms of the TV show, it's a no for me, it's a pass. Liam Hemsworth looks fine and I hope it works out for him. He has the impossible task of replacing Herny Cavill, not only as a performance, but as Henry's popularity. And I know many won't accept anything other than Cavill. Just look at the Superman backlash for dropping him. I suppose I'm going to have to check out the trailer just to hear Liam Hemsworth speak. I want to hear his Geralt voice, but I'm not going to watch the episodes. But at least we have new games and new books coming out very soon. But guys, let me know your thoughts on Liam Hemsworth as Geralt. How do you feel about his first look in isolation, away from all the drama, but also let me know your feelings about The Witcher Season 4 going forward without Herny Cavill. But I think that'll do it for today. Thanks for watching, take care, and I'll see you soon.